In the ever-evolving world of live television, where every moment unfolds in real time, even the smallest shift can capture the attention of millions. And recently, fans of Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos have found themselves doing exactly that, watching closely, analyzing carefully, and asking one simple question: did something change? It wasn't a dramatic announcement. There was no headline-making controversy, no shocking reveal. And yet, something felt different. During a recent episode of Live with Kelly and Mark, viewers noticed a subtle shift in tone. At first, it was barely noticeable. Kelly's usual energetic delivery, still present but slightly softer. Mark's confident charm, still there but with a quieter edge. To the casual viewer, it may have seemed like just another episode, but longtime fans, those who tune in daily, picked up on something deeper. And within hours, social media began to light up. It didn't take long for viewers to share their thoughts. Comments started appearing across platforms. Is it just me, or does Kelly seem a bit different today? Mark feels quieter than usual. Hope everything's okay. Something felt off, but I can't explain it. These weren't accusations, they weren't rumors, they were observations, and perhaps more importantly, they were coming from a place of care. Part of what makes Kelly and Mark so unique is the connection they've built with their audience. For years, Kelly has been a staple of morning television. From her early days to her current role alongside her husband, she has created a space that feels warm, familiar, and real. When Mark joined as co-host, it brought something new, but also something deeply personal. Their chemistry isn't scripted, their conversations don't feel forced, and their relationship, it's genuine. That's why even the smallest shift doesn't go unnoticed. Because for many viewers, watching them isn't just entertainment, it's part of their daily routine. So what exactly did fans notice? Interestingly, there wasn't one single moment. Instead, it was a collection of small details. A slightly quieter exchange during a segment, a pause that felt longer than usual, a tone that leaned more reflective than energetic. Individually, these moments meant very little, but together they created a feeling. And in live television, feeling is everything. It's easy to forget that behind the polished set, the bright lights, and the perfectly timed segments, there are real people. People who have good days, people who have tiring days, people who carry emotions, even when the cameras are rolling. Live TV doesn't allow for retakes. There's no pause button, no second chance to redo a moment. Everything happens as it unfolds. And sometimes, that means viewers get a glimpse of something more real than expected. Why fans notice so quickly? There's a reason audiences picked up on this so fast. Consistency. Kelly and Mark have built a rhythm over time. Their timing, their humor, their back-and-forth energy. When that rhythm shifts, even slightly, it stands out. It's like listening to your favorite song and suddenly hearing a different note. You may not know exactly what changed, but you feel it instantly. A relationship that feels real. One of the most powerful elements of the show is the authenticity of their relationship. They're not just co-hosts, they're partners. They've shared stories, laughed together, disagreed playfully, and opened up about real-life moments. And that authenticity creates trust. So when fans notice a change, it doesn't come from curiosity alone. It comes from connection. The social media ripple effect. Within hours of the episode airing, discussions spread quickly. Fan pages posted clips, viewers re-watched moments. Some even compared it to previous episodes. But here's what's important. The conversation remained respectful. There were no wild claims, no harmful speculation, just a shared sense of curiosity and concern. And in today's online world, that's something worth noting. Human beings are naturally observant. We notice tone, expression, body language, even when nothing is said directly. That's what happened here. There was no statement, no explanation, but the audience still felt something. And sometimes those unspoken moments are the ones that resonate the most. Not every moment needs an explanation. It's tempting to search for answers, to want clarity, to expect a reason. But not every moment on live television comes with context. Sometimes it's just a day, a slightly different day, and that's okay. Perhaps the most powerful part of the episode wasn't what was said, but what wasn't. A brief pause, a softer exchange, a quieter tone. These moments didn't interrupt the show, they didn't change the structure, but they added something unexpected: realness. Why this moment matters. In a world filled with perfectly edited content, something unplanned stands out. It reminds us that behind every show, every host, every performance, there are real emotions, real experiences, real people. And sometimes those small, unscripted moments are what create the strongest connection. As of now, there has been no official statement, no confirmation of any issue, no indication of anything serious. And that's important because it reminds us not to jump to conclusions. Instead, we can appreciate the moment for what it was: a subtle shift that sparked conversation. Kelly and Mark have built something rare, a show that feels both professional and personal, a connection that feels both entertaining and genuine. And one small moment doesn't change that. If anything, it reinforces it, because it shows that what we're watching isn't scripted perfection, it's something real. In the end, there was no dramatic reveal, no breaking scandal, no shocking twist that changed everything in an instant. Just a moment, a small, quiet, almost unnoticeable moment that somehow stood out more than anything else. The kind of moment that doesn't interrupt the flow of a show, but gently shifts its tone in a way that only the most attentive viewers can feel. And yet, that was enough. Because sometimes it's not the loudest headlines that leave the deepest impression. It's not the perfectly planned segments or the rehearsed conversations that stay with us long after the show ends. It's the subtle changes, the quiet pauses, the slight difference in energy that can't quite be explained, but can definitely be felt. Watching Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos has always been about more than just entertainment. Their presence on Live with Kelly and Mark brings a sense of familiarity that viewers have come to rely on. Day after day, they show up not just as hosts, but as people, sharing laughter, stories, and moments that feel genuine. So when something shifts, even slightly, it doesn't go unnoticed. It doesn't need to be explained. It doesn't need to be confirmed. Because the audience feels it. And that feeling is what makes live television so powerful. In a world filled with edited clips, filtered content, and carefully crafted narratives, live TV remains one of the last places where real moments can still happen without warning. There's no script for every emotion, no perfect timing for every reaction. Sometimes there's just honesty. And honesty isn't always loud. Sometimes it shows up in a pause that lasts a second longer than expected, in a glance that feels more thoughtful, in a tone that carries just a bit more weight than usual. These are the moments that remind us why we keep watching. Not for perfection, but for connection. Because when something feels real, it reaches us in a different way. It cuts through the noise, through the distractions, and creates a shared experience between the people on screen and the ones watching from home. That's what happened here. Nothing major changed on the surface. The show continued, the conversations moved forward, the structure remained the same. But beneath it all, there was something different. Something quieter. Something more human. And maybe that's why it resonated so deeply. Because in that brief moment, viewers weren't just watching a show, they were witnessing something real, something unscripted, something that didn't need to be explained to be understood. It was a reminder that even in the most polished environments, authenticity still finds a way to shine through. And perhaps that's the real reason people keep tuning in, not just to see what happens, but to feel something when it does. Because at the end of the day, that's what stays with us. Not the headlines, not the highlights, but the feeling. And in that moment, fans didn't just watch, they felt.